everyone. So, wow, this YouTube channel has taken yet another turn. It's like a roller coaster over here. But I've decided to start trying out nail tutorials since I am constantly doing my nails anyways. I might as well film it. I really hope you guys like it. Bear with me. I was figuring out how to deal with a camera over my head and the lighting and making sure I was in frame. So I'm sorry, there's probably a lot of wiggling around and figuring things out. But if you would like to see how to do these nails, stay tuned. The first thing that I'm going to do is take these full cover tips, medium stiletto. I got these off of Temu. And a little life hack for you, as you can see, I wrote in Sharpie the sizes that I usually use from my thumb to my pinky on the lid of all of my tip boxes, since I only do my own nails. For this video, I'm double checking and making sure that they fit sidewall to sidewall and picking out all of my sizes. And now with a wooden file, I'm going to file the little tip off that comes off of the nail form when you get new tips. And now I'm taking this Macarte gel polish in the shade Blueberry Bubblegum. This is a jelly ocean blue color. And I'm gonna apply 2 coats of this and do a full cure after each coat, which is about 60 seconds in my big lamp. Let me know if you like it when parts like this are sped up a little bit, or if you like to watch it in real time. I'm very curious. Also, by the way, I'm doing 1 full nail at a time, which is not what I normally do, but I'm gonna do it for this video. Let me know if you like that. And this is the thumb. Next, I'm taking a Beetles gel polish, A732. This is a milky white polish. If you don't have a milky white, you can mix a regular white with a clear polish. And I'm also taking this Melody Susie top coat and putting it out on a palette. We're gonna be making bubble nails. Okay, they're more like waves, but they look like bubbles. Anyway, I start with this dotting tool and I end up later switching to a brush, but at first I'm using this dotting tool. And I'm painting on a layer of this milky white color and not curing it before the next step. The next thing that I do is take that dotting tool and dip it in the clear top coat, and I'm going to make little polka dots on the nail. I like to call these bubbles, but they're not. They're like a water texture, but bear with me, I'm gonna call it a bubble. So I'm making these little bubbles on the nail with the top coat and then doing a full cure when I'm done. And by the way, the more top coat that you have on your brush / dotting tool, the bigger the bubble is gonna be, and also the longer that you hold it down to the nail, the bigger the bubble will get, because more of the product will slip off of the brush / dotting tool. Okay, here I am switching to the brush, finally. It goes a lot better after that. Now I'm taking a matte top coat. This one is by Beetles. We love Beetles. They are affordable on Amazon. And I'm gonna do 1 coat of this matte top coat and then fully cure for 60 seconds in my lamp. And this is what it should look like when it's all matte. Now I'm taking this Gen B Crazy Top Thick Gel. I got this off of Sweetie Nail Supply. And I'm also taking this Beetles liner. It's a small liner brush, and the other end is a dotting tool, but I'm using the brush end. And I'm gonna get a good amount of this thick gel, and I'm gonna make a swirl in the nail. It can be any shape, any size, whatever you want, but we're gonna do isolated chrome on this. I'm gonna make it gold, so whatever you think would look best. So just as a side note, this is my first time ever doing isolated chrome, and I really like how it turned out, but I think that I could have made my life a little easier if I had products that were specific to isolated chrome. For example, the matte top coat that I'm using is just a regular matte top coat, but they do make matte top coats that are specific for doing isolated chrome, and I think that would have made my life easier. But we have what we have, and we can always make it work. And after I put down that first layer of thick gel, I flash cured it really quick in my big lamp, and then I decided that I wanted it to be a little more raised and a little more 3D. So I'm going over it again, and when I'm done with that, I'll do a full cure in my lamp. So this is the chrome that I'm going to be using. I got this several years ago off of Amazon. There's no branding on it. I don't know what brand makes it. It's just a gold chrome, and it was cheap. I'm also using this chrome applicator from Makartt. This thing is great. Look at how easy it goes on. It's fab. And I also grabbed a clean makeup sponge that you can just get at any drugstore. This is when I use that makeup sponge. I'm rubbing off any excess chrome powder that there is, and in the meantime, it's also kind of burnishing it in as I go, so it's like a 2-in-1. And then I'm taking a cleanup brush. Now this is just a random nail cleanup brush, and I'm taking some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. If I ever say alcohol in a nail video, I'm talking about isopropyl alcohol. Anyway, I'm using this to clean up the chrome powder that is still on the matte top coat. This is why I said that using one of those top coats, or whatever they're called, those chrome gels that are specifically for isolated chrome, this part I would not even have had to do if I had had one of those products. But you know, I'm not gonna go buy a product specific for a technique that I've never tried before, so. This is a palette full of pearl charms that I think I got off Temu. It's been a while, but it has silver tone and gold tone pearls. I'm sticking with the silver tone, and I'm picking kind of a medium size for the top of the nail and a smaller one for the bottom. I was off frame, so I had to cut it out, sorry. And I'm going to apply this with my Gen B Crazy Top Thick Gel and that Beetles liner brush from before. So I'm putting the larger of the two pearls up at the top where there's a larger space, and then the smaller one is going down at the bottom, and then this gets a full cure. And all we have left is to top coat this nail. I'm going to be using the Gen B Crazy Top Standard and a medium oval brush that I got off of Amazon. It also doesn't have a brand on it, but I love this brush. I have two of them. I use them all the time. And I'm just gonna apply a layer over the entire nail, even the pearls, the chrome, everything, and give it a full cure, and then this nail's done. Does this nail remind you guys of an oyster? Like the isolated chrome is the shell and the pearls are inside the oyster? That's what I was going for. So now we are moving on to the pointer nail, and this nail also gets 2 coats of the Makartt Blueberry Bubblegum Jelly Polish and curing in between, obviously. This chrome powder I got off Amazon. Of course, there's no branding on it. Why is that a thing? Anyway, it's an Aurora / mermaid chrome, so it's pearlescent and it shifts green blue. So I'm going to put a top coat on the entire nail. This is a Melody Susie top coat. It's a non-wipe top coat. Put 1 coat of that, do a full cure, and then I'm using my Macarte chrome applicator and applying this chrome on the entire nail. Now I'm going to be using the other side of the makeup sponge, the clean side, and I'm going to wipe off the excess powder off of this nail like I did with the isolated chrome. And now we're taking the Gen B Crazy Top Thick Gel and my medium oval brush, and I'm going to put a pretty thick layer of this on this nail and not cure it. So this is my first time doing this technique also, and this one ends up being my favorite of all of the nail designs. So what we're going to do is basically carve out a wave pattern in this thick gel. So I turn it upside down after I put on the gel to kind of let gravity help me out and put the gel all in the middle of the nail. And now I'm taking the other end of that Beetles liner brush, the one that's a dotting tool, and I'm just scraping out basically the gel in a wave pattern. And I went over it several times. This Gen B thick gel leveled out a little bit quicker than I needed it to for this technique, but I did make it work by just constantly going over it until it was perfect. And then full cure, and I stuck it in that lamp so fast before it would self-level. I'm gonna top coat this nail with a shiny top coat. This is a Melody Susie top coat, the one we used earlier. And I'm gonna try to do it thin and kind of go with the lines of the waves to kind of not lose its texture. And then give it a full cure, and this nail is done, and we are moving on to the middle finger. So for this nail, we're gonna be making it look like a seashell. So I'm taking this super pale yellow polish from Melody Susie, and I'm covering the entire nail with 1 coat, and I'm not gonna cure it. I'm gonna leave that wet. And then I'm gonna take the same blue jelly color from before, Macarte's Blueberry Bubblegum, and I'm gonna lay that down on a palette. And then I'm going to use this long, kind of thick liner brush from Beetles. It doesn't really matter what you use for this as long as it's kind of long. And I'm going to make like back and forth motions with this blue and just make like streaks across the nail. Sometimes I wipe it off, sometimes I don't. I just kind of go with like how it's looking and how I want it to look, going with the flow. And I'm just making a dang seashell, y'all. So as I was making this shell, I decided that it kind of needed a lighter highlight color that was like a neutral color. I picked this tiny gel, which I got from Zillaboo, and this actually, I thought it was a light gray, but when I put it up next to that yellow color and it was on the nail, it kind of leaned purplish, pinkish, and I actually really liked it. So this was like the highlight that I added. So once I was happy with how that looked, I put it in the lamp for a full cure. And now I have that Beetles liner brush, the smaller one from earlier, and my Gen B Crazy Top Thick Gel again. Been using that a lot, and I'm gonna make a seashell design on top of this nail. So it's basically multiple lines, and one end is thicker than the other, and at the thinner end is where kind of all the lines are gonna meet up in the middle, and they're gonna be like at an angle. And in between every single line, I'm flash curing this so that it doesn't move while I move on and do the next one. I could not have done this fast enough before it self-leveled. I also went over some of the lines multiple times if I felt like it needed it. And that little flash cure lamp that I'm using, it's like a handheld, portable, rechargeable one from Macarte. Those are great, especially when you're like attaching charms or doing something like this. when I was happy with that, it again got a full cure in the lamp. And now I'm going to pick out some pearls again. I am sticking with the silver toned pearls still, and I'm doing a kind of medium-sized one for the middle and 2 smaller ones for either side of that bigger one. And I'm going to apply this with the Crazy Top Thick Gel again and the same liner brush I was just using, and I'm going to put it on the cuticle area of this nail. And after I cure this gel and secure these pearls, I'm going to top coat the entire nail with this same Melody Susie top coat as before. And I'm kind of going with the grain, if it was wood, but it's not. I'm going with the direction of the design so that I'm not adding bulk to the nail and giving that a full cure. And here we are so far, 3 down, 2 to go. And we've already done the hardest ones. So now we are on the ring finger. And this is also going to get 2 coats of this Jelly Blue by McCart, Blueberry Bubblegum. And this is also going to be a bubble/water texture nail. So I'm going to repeat all of the same steps that I did for the background on the thumb. For the top of this nail, I'm going to be adding a couple of charms. This little charm palette is from Temu, my favorite place to get charms. And I found this little seashell that's like iridescent, pearlescent, and a little koi fish, which can we just pretend like it's not a koi fish, because koi fish don't live in the ocean. And these are ocean themed nails, so just pretend. Can we also pretend like I'm in frame for this part? You know, I'm honestly surprised that this didn't happen more than just this once in this video, where I was just completely off frame and didn't realize it. But I'm just applying these charms with that Crazy Top Thick Gel. Once I got them exactly where I wanted them, I did a flash cure so that they wouldn't move around on me. And now I'm adding more gel under the fins of the fish and the tail of the fish. If you leave your charms kind of hanging off like that without reinforcing the underneath, first of all, they're not as secure. And second of all, you're gonna get caught in your hair and scratch yourself and other people, and we just don't want that. So I reinforced it, and now I'm adding a shiny top coat over the entire nail. So now we're getting started on the pinky, and this is also going to be a bubble nail, so the same thing that we did on the last nail and on the thumb. Wow, we're already on the last nail of my first nail tutorial, so that's fun. I need you guys to give me some feedback. Is the volume okay? Is the angle okay? Is the lighting okay? Is the music okay? I just need a little bit of input from someone to make sure I can do it even better for the next one. And to finish off this nail, I'm adding a shiny non-wipe top coat, that same Melody Susie one, because I'm going to be adding chrome on top. And it has to be a non-wipe top coat for chrome to stick to. So I'm using that chrome from earlier, the one from the wavy nail. It's a pearlescent one that leans or shifts, kind of a blue-green. And I'm putting that all over the entire nail. And then I'm going to put a shiny top coat on that, and then we're done. And this is the set all completed. So obviously I want to put these on so that you guys can see them on a hand, but I am currently in court reporting school, so I can't have long nails at all. Like, I can't even really have medium nails. Like, I can't. So I'm using these sticky tabs, and I showed the brand, and I got them on Amazon. And I just really have to take them off immediately. So I'm not prepping my nails or anything. So I'm not doing this in order for them to stay on. I'm doing this so that I can take them off quickly. You obviously, if you were doing this nail set for yourself, would probably not need to take it off that quickly, but that is my life currently. And if you aren't like me and you want these to last a little bit longer, you could use these sticky tabs for maybe like a day or two, but you would need to properly prep your natural nail, which I'm not going to get into right now. And you could also use regular nail glue, and you might get them to last like up to 2 weeks. Y'all, I am actually so mad at myself for filming these outro clips in portrait mode, like vertical and not horizontal. I'm irritated. So at the end, I added a little clip of them on a nail stand because I had already taken them off. But this is what they look like. This is the completed set. I really hope that you guys enjoy this. Give me some feedback if you feel generous enough. And I'll see you guys next time.